Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Specter's Desire. So, in the last part, Colton got invited to the Desire hierarchy party thing. So, I think that's what we're gonna see it today. I'm excited to see how it goes. I don't know what to expect, honestly. Like, is somebody going to die? Or is there just puzzles? I genuinely don't know, and I'm excited to find out. It was later that day. I had spent much of the day celebrating my good stroke of fortune. Really, nothing could have brought me down off that cloud I was riding. At least, for a short time, I was able to celebrate my invitation. But the partying could only last for so long. After all, Carolyn was right. The qualifying stage started up tomorrow. I was woefully unprepared. Not that there was much to prepare. A key trait of the desire hierarchy was that it never quite took the same form as it had before. Still, there were some things I could do to get ready. So, I came back to my apartment to prepare. I opened my computer, and before I completely lost myself, I decided to go back to manage my emails. After opening the Rising Stars email, I had completely forgotten about what I was doing before that. This time, when I went to the tab, I didn't have an ounce of hesitation. Ironic. As I scrolled through my emails, I noticed I had gotten an email at some point between initially opening the email and now. Its title caught me slightly off guard. To Colton, about the Desire Hierarchy. Must watch. It was an eye-catching title, to say the very least. When I opened the email, however, there was just a link to a website. A website, huh? Listen, if you get strange emails with strange links to random places, I don't know, you gotta be careful. Not thinking much of it, I clicked the link. I was, at most, mildly amused and intrigued by the message. The link took me to a very basic website. There was only one feature to it: a single video file in the center of the screen. Confused, I clicked play, and immediately the video started to play. I immediately noticed that there was no option to pause the video or to move around the timeline. Suspicious. An annoying and undoubtedly intentional piece of design. I'm sorry, what? Shifting focus to the video itself, it immediately became rather odd. I was looking at an animated ghost girl, mouth poorly moving in time with the message. So at the beginning, we were a ghost, right? Like, is this her? Or like, I don't know if the ghost is like watching over the hierarchy or like what is the purpose of the ghost? But I know there's a ghost.
Hi there, Colton.
Aside from being slightly disturbed by being addressed directly, the ghost's voice struck me as odd. It was high-pitched and distorted. Someone had run the audio through a number of filters, but it didn't sound particularly good. It didn't produce a cool effect, it just served to thoroughly distort the voice. I didn't register that as a red flag at the time. My guy, you need to work on your red flag skills.
It's nice to finally get a chance to talk to you. In case you didn't know me, my name is Spectra. I'm the friendly ghost. And I hope to be your friendly ghost. Not that I want to be your ghost like you'd be dead. Like I want us to be friends. And also, I'm just a ghost. Oh gosh, I'm stumbling over my words, aren't I? Sorry, it's been a while since I've had anyone to talk to, you know? But you don't want to hear me ramble on, do you? You're a busy man. Especially considering you've got such an important competition coming shortly. Good luck with the desired hierarchy, by the way. I'm rooting for you.
I really didn't like the cheery and positive tone of voice this was all being delivered with. At this point, I was thinking this must be some sort of video from the tournament organizers. I'm thinking it's not at all, and I'm thinking this actually is the ghost that was at the very beginning, and she's talking to him. I think that's what's happening. I wonder if like each person who's part of the desire hierarchy gets assigned a ghost, like a guardian angel. It's possible. I don't know. Bizarre, to be sure, but not that unusual. Maybe this video would have special information about the first round or something. If only.
You might wonder how I know that you're in the tournament. Well, it's simple. I'm a ghost, silly. I can watch you at any place, anytime. In fact, I'm probably watching you now. Hee.
It was stupid, but I did turn around to look in my apartment.
And I'm sorry if this makes you uncomfortable, Colton, but I've been watching you a lot. By now, I know a lot about you. Where you went to school, your ambitions, what you named your fish, the names of your parents.
I felt a chill start to run down my spine.
And after all this time, I think we've become really, really close. I know, we haven't actually talked at all. But don't you feel like we know each other?
I can't tell if this ghost is supposed to be like a helpful character, right? Like, is she actually helping us or not? You know what I mean? I'm not sure yet.
I know I do. Which is why I know you'll do me this very important favor. You see, Colton, I'm not just asking you for fun, as much fun as it is. The truth is, I need your help.
At this, my ears perked up.
I had something very precious to me stolen, and I need your help to get it back. Have you ever heard of the Specter's desire?
I hadn't.
It's okay if the answer is no. Not enough people do. To put it simply, it's a very, very special vase. It means a lot. It tells my story. Really, you could call it mine. It is mine. It should be.
Maybe I was imagining something, but it felt as though the speaker stumbled over those words.
But it was taken from me by some awful, awful people. And that's where you come in. I need you to get it back for me. Now, normally this might be impossible for you, but you just got an invitation to the desire hierarchy, right? So you've got the perfect chance. Use your wish to get a hold of the Spectre's desire, and then give it back to me. If you could do that, you'd make me the happiest spirit around.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, what the hell was this? Some sort of prank? A type of extortion? Despite the creepiness of it all, I was about to just exit the website. Clearly some staffer was making an elaborate prank or something. Unfortunately, I had to listen for just a bit longer.
Oh, but of course, I wouldn't ask you to do all this for nothing. If you can give me back my vase, I'll be sure to reward you handsomely. How? Let's see. Oh, I know. Right now, your parents, Charles and Lorenza, are right here. They're visiting my realm.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Did you kill my parents? Why are they in the ghost realm? Hello?
And they're just such good guests, you know?
See, this, to me, sounds like a threat. This is like, if you don't help me, I'll kill you. Your parents will stay here in this realm. I've killed your parents. And I have them hostage. So you have to help me, but I'm disguising it as I'm being kind and cheerful. That's how it sounds to me. A threat or blackmail or something like that. I got a bad feeling.
I'd hate to let them go. If you get me that vase, I guess I'll relent. I'll let them come back to you. But if I don't get my vase, well, I'll just be too sad. I'll need to keep them with me for comfort. Forever.
Instantly, the slow ball of dread gradually growing in my chest dropped to the bottom of my stomach. In a single instant, I was awash with panic I hadn't felt since the stained loan incident.
Is that motivation enough for you? Oh, don't worry. You'll win my vase back for me. I'm sure of it. I believe in you.
Oh, she's evil.
Oh, by the way, don't you dare tell anybody else about this. I'll know. And I won't like it.
And just like that, the video ended. She's evil. 100% evil. What? Panicked, I refreshed the page, trying to replay the video. However, that was a mistake. The moment I refreshed the page, my browser said there was an issue connecting to the URL. I don't think that was like a pre-recorded video at all. I think the ghost was like directly talking to us through a video, through the computer. A few more refreshes, and it was clear that the website had been removed from the internet. That was a threat, right? Oh yeah, you gotta maybe, I think maybe you should call your parents right now and see if they answer the phone. It was the weirdest freaking thing I'd ever seen, but it was definitely threatening my parents, right? Mom, Dad, I'd never forgive myself if something happened to them. What the hell? What was this? As I felt like choking on air, I had to remind myself to maintain rationality. It was probably all a dumb joke. Let's just call my parents. Clear the air. I took out my phone and tried to call my mom. She's not gonna answer, is she? No answer. Okay, that's fine. It was late there, even later than it was here. I called again. Maybe you try your dad, but we know it's gonna be the same thing. Again, no answer. God damn it, Mom, why do you never pick up? Fine, I'll call my dad. Mom was flaky. Dad always picked up. No answer. Again, call. No answer. The pit in my stomach was starting to feel cavernous. I was freaking out. It felt like my skin was on fire. What was happening? Where were my parents? God, I didn't even want to think about it. I wanted to rush to their house straight away, but I was on the other side of the country. God damn it. What could I do? Immediately, I was struck with an idea. I scrolled to another contact and called them. Please. Who are we calling, Carolyn?
Yo?
Skinner? Who is Skinner? Skinner, thank God. Thank God you're still awake.
A result of my vigilance, to be sure. Only someone awake knows whether or not it would be better to be asleep. Hence why I make it a practice to sleep as little as I can help.
Oh my God. Normally I'd be annoyed at this pointlessly circular answer, but honestly, I was just too grateful that Skinner had responded to get mad. Skinner was an old personal friend from Junk Fork. We've been close ever since middle school, when he caught me cheating off of one of his tests, and developed a better system to pass me the answers. I wouldn't say he was my best friend, but we definitely used to hang out a fair bit. Unfortunately, ever since moving to Aurea, I hadn't talked to him as much. Different schedules and everything had just made it inconvenient. Still, now more than ever, I was grateful to have him available. Skinner, you still live pretty close to my old house, right?
Define pretty close. If one were to define it as within a distance, one could arrive.
Can you get there fast?
Certainly. I'll start heading over there.
Run.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Loud and clear.
Before too long, I could hear the sound of Skinner sprinting down Junk Fork's sidewalks. Oh, the music's creepy. You know, there were a lot of things I could criticize Skinner for, but he had dropped everything and started sprinting to my house with no explanation because I asked, and I couldn't take that away from him. I decided to check in on him. You doing good? Yeah, I'm making fair time. I'm slacking on exercise as of late. And though I find physical exertion a rather rare trait to need, it's still best to practice to keep a baseline fitness. Thanks for doing this. No prob. It's rather exciting, I think. Popping into adventure at a moment's notice. Damn it, Skinner, it's not an adventure. As soon as I said it, I could hear the cruelty in the back of my voice. Oh geez, what just happened to my voice? Luckily, Skinner took it in stride. Okay, understood. Though, if you would forgive me, I don't know what this is. Mind, enlightening me? I took a deep breath and explained the situation as quickly as I could, as Skinner sprinted to my house. He didn't interrupt, possibly because he was running in the middle of the night, just took it all in. Finally, I caught him up to the present. That's, yeah. It was rare Skinner was at a loss for words. Okay, well, that certainly sounds very mysterious and foul. It's not mysterious and foul. It's freaking terrifying. Yeah, okay, you're right. This is really bad. But let's not jump to doomsday, huh, shall we? The idea that this is all some major nefarious plot seems rather minimal. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for all this. I bet you when I get there, I'll be... Skinner trailed off. I thought he'd keep talking, but I heard him come to a stop. Then he kept running, but didn't go back to talking. Skinner? Skinner, what was that? Nothing. It's fine, I just, I'll get to the house and, I'm sure it'll be fine. Skinner, you're a crap liar. What was that? God damn my observational skills. Skinner. Okay. Right now, I'm pretty close to your house. And, well, as I was running by, I couldn't help but notice some red drops on the sidewalk. Oh God. I felt like fainting. I could actually feel myself stumbling. Hey, Colton, stay with me, man. Think about it. Even if that was blood, it's pretty far from your parents' house. It doesn't make sense why there'd be blood there. It's probably totally unrelated. And look, I'll prove it. I'm arriving now. I could hear Skinner slow down, like he was walking to the front door. I heard the sound of knocking. Then there was a pause. Some more knocking. Does it look like they're there? Well, it's too soon to make any definitive claims. I don't need definitive claims. What's your best guess? Look, there's no need for that. I'll settle it myself. Do I have your permission to break in? Break in? Well, I suppose it's not technically breaking in if I use a spare key. Okay, I guess, fine. Do what you have to do. Wait, why do you have a spare key to my house? I don't. But one of the rocks surrounding your father's flower garden has suspiciously less dirt than his neighbor's. I really hate you sometimes. You'll thank me soon enough. I could hear Skinner bending down and opening something. Cool, spare key was here. I'm gonna enter now. I heard Skinner use the spare key, open the door. Having to witness this whole scene from my dingy apartment, just listening in, it was killing me. But what else could I do? I just stood there in anxious anticipation as Skinner walked around my house calling out for my parents. Getting no response. Skinner, are they there? Skinner, do you see anything wrong? What are you seeing? Can't you FaceTime? Can you call him on FaceTime instead? Skinner, just listen.
I I'm listening. I'm just,
You don't want to deliver bad news,
well, look, I don't see any signs of struggle.
but
I'm sorry, Colton. Your parents aren't here. And considering everything, I don't think it's a stretch to say they may be in danger.
yeah, they're in the ghost realm because that ghost is evil. I fell to my bed, defeated. No, no, no. This couldn't be happening. I refuse to let this happen. Mom, Dad, where were you? Were you suffering on my behalf right now? I pictured what might happen to them, and it felt like I was having a heart attack. No, no! I couldn't lose them. I just couldn't. For them to die like this, for them to die because of me and this stupid hierarchy. They can't die. They can't. I mean, we weren't talking much, but would they die thinking I was some utter failure? I'd screwed up not only my life, but theirs too? What did they need to talk to me about? It was innocuous, but crap, I needed to know. I just needed to. They were good people. They didn't deserve any of this. This had nothing to do with them. Why couldn't they be left alone? Why not just hold my life at stake? My mind kept picturing what it would be like without them, with them having died because of me. Without them, what was this for? What was any of this for? Without them, I was alone. Pointless. Colton! Colton, are you okay?
No, Skinner, as a matter of fact, I am not okay. As a matter of fact, I am freaking the fuck out!
Aw. Hey, hey, easy. Stay calm. Let's just take a moment to breathe.
You want me to breathe?
I know you're upset, but
Upset? You think I'm upset? I am freaking the fuck out right now!
clearly...
Excuse me?
Colton, it's gonna be okay, man.
No, it's not!
Yes, it is. It is. It really is. Think about it. If this is a kidnapping, they probably wouldn't risk hurting the hostages, right? It's called leverage. You might ask for proof that they're okay, and if they can't produce that, it'll be all for naught. So they're definitely fine right now.
For now, maybe.
We just need them to be all right. For now. Don't forget who you're talking to.
Oh, Skinner, for God's sakes, you are not some genius detective. How many times do I have to tell you this?
I'm just saying. I can immediately tell this whole thing feels sloppy. I'm willing to bet this was a rush job. We can figure this out. I can figure this out. Just give me a bit of time and soon
We don't have time! We have no time! The qualifying stage for the Desire hierarchy is tomorrow. There's no time to figure anything out.
So? The qualifying stage is tomorrow. So what?
Did I not explain everything? The ghost lady told me I need this stupid vase or whatever to get my parents back, right? The only way I can get that vase is by winning the Desire hierarchy. And if I lose the qualifying stage, well, that's it. No chance to win, no vase. At that point, there's no reason to keep my parents safe, right? Like you said, it's leverage. If I lose it, it's over.
That's, Skinner went silent.
See? We're fucked. I'm fucked. My parents are gonna get murdered by some ghost freak and it's all my fault.
Colton, please. You have to keep a cool head.
How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Listen, you're saying that if you lose the qualifying stage, you lose your leverage, right? Then just get through the qualifying stage. That way, you'll keep your leverage. And you'll buy enough time for me to get to the bottom of this.
Oh. Okay.
That was awfully fast for him to be like, oh, okay. He's freaking out, but then he's just like, oh, okay.
All I have to do is get through a round of a super intense game tournament against literally some of the most important people in the world. Simple.
It is. Colton, I know you can do this. I know it.
How? You know me. I'm not good at games.
Neither am I, but here we are.
I've never been able to beat you at any of them.
Yeah, well, I freaking rule at games. If you're half as good as me, the qualifying stage will be a cinch.
Skinner, please.
I'm not joking. I've played you enough to know you're really smart. Smarter than you give yourself credit for. And
And?
I'm not sure how to say this in a way that won't make you freak out more. And I don't want that to happen. That'll just be counterproductive.
Just say it.
Colton, I don't think you've got a choice. It was horrible, but he was right. I didn't have a choice. My mind was flooded with 1,000 questions and 1,000 more worries, but none of them really mattered. They were all irrelevant to the face of one simple fact. If I wanted to keep my leverage, I'd have to get through the qualifying stage of the desire hierarchy tomorrow. We're going to try our best. In a sense, it was almost comforting. Not a lot to think about, just a simple fact. Survive or die. Simple as that. Oh boy. Chapter 1, Action Potential. Ooh, I'm excited. It's getting good. I'm excited
One
now.
of the first things you learn about Aurea is that it is a city of shaking hands.
What? Are you is this a person? I can't tell. Is she dead?
It doesn't matter what role you occupy. You'll never get anywhere without learning when to bow or curtsy.
This is my diary? How come my diary is a girl? Aren't I Colton? I'm so confused.
You could spin this place as being a collaborative city. I can't help but see it as the opposite. In truth, everyone in this city is quite fragile.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I need to... What was the options again? P? Too loud again. Sometimes the music is low, sometimes it's loud. Sorry.
A sea of glass people, each holding stones. Where weakness is jumped upon, nothing paints quite the target like being rude. People aren't afraid to throw rocks at you if they think others will say you deserved it. And so, we all bow and curtsy, performing an endless, invisible dance. I can't say the arrangement doesn't suit me well. Shaking hands comes rather naturally to me.
Who are you?
Maybe because I can't stand the sight of conflict.
Me neither. I feel that.
Or maybe I just picked up on my father's lessons. He was quick to instruct, and I've never been a slow steady. So no, I don't fear for myself. The one who has me worried is my dear brother. He has yet to learn the dance Aurea requires from him.
Is she my sister?
It pains me to think that if he doesn't pick up the move soon, he may suffer for it.
Is she okay? I think she needs help.
It's not as though he is ill-tempered. Far from it. My brother has a kind soul, even if that's not always apparent. I think part of the trouble is that he just loathes this hand shaking on the face of it. I can't say I blame him. It's not a particularly pretty system. I'd rather an honest frown than an inauthentic smile. And yet, I've seen nothing but grinning faces for all my life. A few years ago, my father had a private talk with me. He impressed upon me how everyone in Aurea had sharp teeth, and I needed to be careful. He didn't want me to be shocked when I finally saw a hidden devil with my own eyes. By the grace of God, I've yet to meet that devil. I've had the pleasure of having those in my inner circle all be authentically good, at least as far as I can tell. For many, this might lull them into a false sense of security. It may lead them to write off that warning as the advice from an overprotective father. Not me. Instead, I've only become more paranoid. I believe in my father's wisdom. I know the shoe will drop. I'll meet the devil one day. And, until then, I wait breathlessly in suspense.
Huh. Oh, hello. Chapter 2. Mere exposure. Are we gonna meet all those characters? I'm so excited to meet more characters. Despite it all, I found myself struggling to stay awake. Ridiculous, I know. This was the price for barely being able to sleep last night. Then again, can you blame me? Given everything, I was surprised I was able to get as much sleep as I did. That was discounting the time I spent searching my apartment for bugs. As I described the encounter in more detail to Skinner, he picked up on a detail I should have noticed immediately. Oh, he meant like the apartment is bugged with microphones and cameras and things. I immediately, when he's like, I'm like, why is he searching around for spiders? Okay, you do you, my guy. How did Spectra know that I named my fish? Because she's a ghost, hello? She's over your shoulder constantly, 100%. The obvious answer was that there was some sort of recording device in my apartment. Seems like I should have paid a bit more attention to my personal security. After an hour of fruitless searching, Skinner suggested that Spectra may have had the recording device removed. Its purpose fulfilled. It was possible, but the idea that it could just be somewhere I couldn't find, still present, well, it didn't help with the whole sleep front. I can't tell, like, Colton clearly thinks that Spectra is actually a person just using a ghost persona. I think she actually is a ghost, but I don't know. Like, is she real? Like, what is... There has to be some kind of secret in regards to the desire hierarchy, and I think we're going to discover them, and it's going to get crazy. As for what to do with my kidnapped parents situation, I seriously considered going to the police. Skinner managed to talk me out of that. We didn't know who we were dealing with, but they were frighteningly methodical. Since they told me not to contact anyone, there were decent odds they had some way of knowing if I talked to the cops. Well, then they would also know that you contacted your friend, I'm just saying. Instead, our plan was solid, even if I felt bad about it. Skinner would go full-on investigation mode on his end, trying to determine what had happened. He felt confident he could get us some clues about what was happening. I was less assured. Meanwhile, I had to get through the qualifying stage. We just didn't have time for another option. We might be able to regroup and do something in the break until the next stage, but if I didn't attend, or God forbid, lost the qualifying stage, Spectra would know. And that couldn't bode well, either for me or for my parents. I truly hated this plan. It put an enormous burden on me to actually get through this first stage. But I didn't have a better alternative, so here I was. The Desire Hierarchy's qualifying stage. A packed underground subway station. Man, I knew the hierarchy was a big deal, but how much did it cost to completely rent out a section of the subway system? Then again, if you added up everyone participating in the hierarchy, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say a significant portion of Araya's economy was perpetrated by these players. Still, it felt weird. Waiting for things to start, I looked at the wall on the other side of the tracks. The Desire Hierarchy was written in big, bold, stylized graffiti lettering. It rubbed me the wrong way. The collective wealth of the people surrounding me was not a joke, greater than the total sum of certain cities. So it just felt kind of gross for this type of event to use street art aesthetics. Taking place in a rundown subway station in the poor district of Araya, I don't know, it felt like the people around me were tourists. This was a fun game to them. Of course it's a fun game to them. These are like the type of people that have never experience any kind of like financial hardship at all. So when they see, like, they're going to treat it as like a circus, a show. Like, they don't feel any kind of connection to the people who actually live here, you know? So they're, you know, it's a bit gross. I don't know, it was all irrational, I get that. I just knew I was the only person in this whole room to have thought twice about the graffiti art style. And I didn't like that. Oh well. I could only be disgusted up to a point. As many deep thoughts I had about the city or whatever, I had an equal amount of thoughts freaking out about being close to this many stars. It was shameful to admit, but even though my parents were in grave danger, I still felt a little giddy to be here. The excitement of participating in the hierarchy couldn't fully be scrubbed away by Spectra's threats. Looking around the room, it was a real who's who. Obviously, I was most familiar with the actors, directors, a few producers. But I gave myself credit. I also recognized a singer or two, a particularly famous talk show host, a play actor, and this was just one heat of the participants. To my delight, I noticed that Jean Piaga, the famous child star, was present. Though to my credit, I did take a beat to wonder if perhaps she should have some sort of parental advisor present. I also clocked Granville Stanley, Araya's long-standing governor, making plenty of small talk. Man, even our governor fought for the Fulfillment Foundation's wishes. Again, it feels like that probably shouldn't be a thing that happens. I feel like this whole city was just built around these rich people. I feel like they built this whole city to be their little playground for this game. Not like I could do anything about it. And was that... Oh. Well, that was one face I was less than enthused to spot. Hey.
Just who I was looking for.
Hey, how are ya? Well, I'll be a son of a gun, Colton. That is you. Andy. Hey, buddy. Shocked to see you here. Come on, give me a hug. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're doing this. Without really letting me object, Andy had walked over and wrapped me in a bear hug. I awkwardly reciprocated with a few pats on the back, then, after a couple of seconds, a few more to indicate he was definitely holding on for too long. Just my luck. After a hug that was just too long, I mean by any metric definitely over long, not even factoring in the fact that I was a non-consensual hug, Andy looked at me. This sentence is, I don't know why, it's a big tongue twister for me. Okay. After a hug that was just too long, I mean by any metric, definitely overly long, not even factoring in the fact that it was a non-consensual hug, Andy looked me up and down. What a sight for sore eyes. First time I've heard that. I bet. Okay, so you don't have to agree with me so enthusiastically. Oh, but I do. I really believe this is the first time in your life someone said you were a sight for sore eyes. Okay. In fact, I bet it's not because someone was shy. This is probably the first time where seeing you has actually made someone who is exhausted feel less exhausted. Got it. Because really, you've understood, Andy. Thanks for the compliment. Not really a compliment, Colton. Or just statement of fact. Good to see you, Andy. You know, Colton, I've got to ask. How the hell are you here? Do you have, like, a job to help run this thing, or... No, I'm a legitimate participant, Andy. Rising Star program, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, really?
No kidding. Good for you. Hey, why did you mention this when I was Ugh, my eyes are doing the thing again where it goes too fast for my voice, for my mouth. It's like, oh, I keep reading too far ahead. Okay. Hey, why didn't you mention this when I was shaking you down yesterday? I don't know, I guess I wanted it to be a fun surprise. Well, color me surprised. On the note of unexpected appearances, Andy, what are you doing here? I wasn't aware you were a celebrity. I'm not. Fact of the matter is, I'm being staked by my boss. Staked? You don't know about staking? There was an awkward pause. My God, Colton, if you're gonna be taking part in the hierarchy, at least you could do some research. I'll brush up on it tomorrow. Well, staking is a process where invitees can have other people participate on their behalf.
Huh. About this.
Really? Wait, isn't the point of the hierarchy to test unparalleled talents? Doesn't it sort of defeat the purpose? Bringing in nobodies? Technically, Colton, we are also a nobody. Alright, well, first off, ouch, not a nobody. And yeah, staking isn't a common practice. For one, due to the whole backroom nature of wishes, there's not many good ways of enforcing that somebody you stake actually wishes what you ask for. But more importantly, the staking system came about because certain people were unable to or unfit to participate. Staking was meant to accommodate them. Staking unnecessarily is pretty big faux pas. It's pretty frowned upon. Most people who are invited here don't want to risk that sort of social stigma.
Is that right?
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I didn't know about that. Ain't it ironic? How so? I mean, technically speaking, you're a staked player. Huh?
You understand me?
I forget the specific wording of the wish that created the rising star player, but to put it simply, I think legally speaking, you are all staked by the host of the tournament. Oh, I didn't know that. Starting to feel like there's lots of things you don't know. Guilty, I guess. While I'm asking possibly stupid questions, I get that you're staked, but you said your boss staked you? That's right. Goes to show. You just weren't some nobody. They were sending their superstar debt collector after you. Uh-huh. Hey, I'm being serious here. I've won all the company poker games. Every single one. Which makes you most qualified to participate in the desire hierarchy? The boss seems to think so. I agree. Okay, well, that's all cool, but that's not actually what I was asking. You work for a loan agency. Why'd your boss get an invite? It's a funny story, that. Fun fact. Did you know that Logis Loans actually used to be a record company? Really? Yep. In fact, it was a really cutting-edge record company. It had a really interesting strategy. See, a lot of recording studios really screwed their artists over with their contracts. Logis Studios wanted to be completely different. Drastically cut down the royalties they took, and they were willing to give their artists a lot of funding too, so to let them achieve their artistic visions. Uh-huh. Of course, to accommodate that, they had to also take on a policy where if artists failed to hit certain projections, they'd have to refund some of their investment. I can see where this is going. It was a special type of record company, fit for those who truly had what it took. If you believed in your talents, then this was the best deal for you. Ah, but there were too many losers trying to take advantage of my company investments. Before long, at least half of our artists were on the hook for repayments. But they had spent the money that had been invested in them, you see. So we let them off the hook, instead gave them long-term repayment plans. And over time, more of our recording artists fell down that pipeline. And pretty soon we realized we were actually making way more money with this method than the whole a music artist thing. We were also spending a lot of our resources on getting artists to actually stick to their contracts. So at some point, Lodge's studio decided to lean into its strengths, and so Lodge's Loans was born. That all makes way too much sense. Anyways, back when it was a record studio, we did actually have a few hits that went far. We still have contracts with them. Boss told him to get good word in with the Mavlovs for us. Next thing you know, he gets an invite. And as his cleverest employee, here I am. What an inspiring story. Oh, and you think you're so great for getting a handout invitation?
I'd think twice if I were you.
Listen, kid. Between you and me, you gotta be careful. There are a few exceptions, but a lot of the people here view Rising Star participants as easy targets. A couple straight up don't want to let one win. You've probably already got a decent target on your back. To say nothing of the advantages you're not getting by not being famous. Advantages? I thought these were straight up mind games. How can being famous help with that? Ha! My god, kid, they're gonna eat you alive. Good thing I'm offering you a hand. Wait, you're offering an alliance? I'm saying we know each other. We should look out for each other. Andy, I don't know. No offense, we've never exactly had a great relationship. Geez, Colton, really gonna be picky here. I just told you. A lot of people are gonna be gunning for Rising Star participants. People don't like you. Oh, and musicians famously love record studios. Okay, fair point. You've got me.
You understand me?
That's what I'm saying. That's why we should look out for each other. Honestly, I didn't really like the idea of working with Andy. The very concept of it felt gross. But the stakes were far too high for personal grudges. He was right. At that moment, I was lost. Any port in a storm.
I mean, fine.
Alright, fine. Truce. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Andy bumped the side of my
I
shoulder.
think this is gonna be the start of a very beautiful relationship.
It was around this point an announcement played on the speaker, telling everyone to quiet up and get ready. Looks like things would actually be starting any second now. Great. Couldn't stall out anymore. Felt like the butterflies in my stomach were about to burst out. Stay calm. Stay calm. Nobody else here was this nervous. If I let my increased stakes get the best of me, I'd never be able to stand against the others. Hey, just out of curiosity, what are the odds of getting past the qualifying stage? Like, they're not too bad for the first round, right? The odds? I don't know about that sort of stuff. Maybe a third of people go through, a little more, a little less. Don't ask me, the statistics change every year.
Fucking what?
A third? Yeah, well, they invite a couple of hundred people every year. And ideally, that number drops to double digits after round one. So it's a bit of a slaughterhouse, preparing the wheat from the chaff. The calf? Chaff? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that word either. Great. I shouldn't have asked. It was at this point that I saw the day's host walking down the empty tracks. He used a cane to walk, but it felt entirely unnecessary, considering the man was surprisingly young. At least, best I could tell. The gaudy white mask he wore obscured a good deal of his face. Who's that? Jeez, is that all you're here to do? Ask questions you should have already known? Hey, you want to team up, you gotta keep me in the loop. Fine. That's Harry Maslov, the guy who I guess is the head of the Fulfillment Foundation. Instantly upon hearing the name, my brain was flooded with recognition. Harry Maslov. That's right. He was a pretty big array director, like the type I wanted to be. That said, his reputation wasn't that great. His movies sold well, but were critically panned. There was a lot of talk that he had only gotten his job as director thanks to nepotism, and I believed it. I never had much respect for Harry's directing style. It was basic, it wasn't thought out. Whenever it tried to be clever, it just undercut the film. I actually used to get annoyed thinking about directors like him. If I was given the resources and talent he had, I could make movies way better than him. Definitely. So wait, Harry Maslov runs the desire hierarchy now? I think I heard about that, but refresh me on the details again? Not much to say. The old head, his father, Abe Maslov, offed himself a year ago now. His son just sorta slid into the spot. Oh. Seriously? That must be horrible for him.
Is this guy serious?
Yeah, the poor kid lost his father, and all he has to show for it is a massive inheritance and becoming the head of one of the most influential organizations in the world. Poor thing. I see your point, but still. You know, you're right, that's not fair. It's actually a misconception to say he became the head because of Abe's suicide. Harry actually won last year's desire hierarchy. And his wish was to become the head. He did? Even though he was probably going to inherit it anyway? I don't know if it was clear he was going to inherit it. More to the point, I think he wanted to earn it, or whatever the hell that means. Probably for public appearances. Wanted his relationship to feel more legitimate. Bad lot of good that did him, though. People still talk crap about him behind his back. A whole lot of the players from last year's hierarchy said that his victory was a fluke. He got to the end by paying people to throw, coasting off more talented allies, and getting lucky. But a lot of really talented people wouldn't be willing to throw at any cost, right? Yeah, I mean, he won and they didn't, so I gotta imagine he's got something going for him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I find the whole thing really funny. Harry used to be the public punching bag. You could hardly see an award show where there wasn't one shot thrown his way. Now he's heading up the competition they all want to win, and all the shit talkers have egg in their face. Great stuff. I love it. Andy's explanation sounded correct from what I could remember. Again, I vehemently disliked Araya's celebrity drama, so I actively tried to avoid it. But from the glimpses I could remember, Harry wasn't even in a very positive light by the public. He could be overly emotional, get in fights with his actors. There was a pretty bad Pyrim rant he went on once. He wasn't good with interviews, he didn't have the typical cheery demeanor of most Arayan celebrities, and he was extremely privileged and never acknowledged it. Didn't seem to be all that great a person, so I couldn't say his reputation wasn't earned. Then again, I was pretty sure there were actual sex criminals who still got active work, so on the sliding scale of Araya ethics, he really didn't seem that bad to me. Honestly, I suspected the whole thing would be a different story entirely if he was a bit more talented. At this point, Harry had made his way to the center of the tracks, and very quickly, everyone was becoming quiet to hear him out. Okay, Mr. Harry, I'm gonna keep calling, I wanna call him Henry for some reason. To his sides were a number of Fulfillment Foundation employees who were dressed in white, similar to him. Harry took a moment to clear his throat. Then he began to speak.
Greetings, poor souls. I thank you for meeting me in this barren place. This dark underworld where sinners and saints meet alike. These are hollowed steps you walk, you who go on, not dead, but without life.
Immediately, the weird feeling in my stomach was back. Maybe it was coincidence, maybe it was nothing, but it sounded an awful lot like Harry was using ghost wordplay for his opening speech. And I just couldn't help but wonder if there was some connection to Spectra in there.
I know you all come with hopes of actualization, of becoming The perfect human. But I ask, how can you become perfect when you are not yet human?
Huh? What? Spectra thing aside, this whole monologue felt incredibly weird. However, as I looked around, nobody else seemed to be reacting that weirdly. I guess this sort of thing wasn't atypical for the hierarchy. I wonder how much of this was taken straight from Abe's playbook. How much was Harry's new spin?
You all have such hope. Hope for your wishes. Hope for your future.
You know, we teamed up with our, loan shark, but where is our friend Carolyn? She's here, isn't she?
But I shall give you an important warning. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
I mean, my guy, you could probably come up with your own line, can't ya?
You are about to enter the confusing maze of Purgatorio.
What? Purgatorio, as in purgatory? Are we all gonna die?
Only by grasping the most basic of needs, by grasping your own survival, shall you move on through the hierarchy.
For a few moments, Harry's words lingered in the air. Then, after a beat, he chuckled to himself.
Well, that was pretty dramatic there, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think I did a good enough job of that. Continuing the whole grand importance of the hierarchy and everything. But forgive me if I drop it now, so I can introduce the actual rules.
A wave of polite laughter rippled through the group, despite no actual jokes being made. All right, so we're on stage 1. Like I said, the theme of this stage is purgatory. You all need to escape purgatory and gain survival itself to get through. So, okay, escape purgatory. What does that mean? Well, to begin with, we will hand out 5 golden rings for everyone to start with. These rings are your livelihood in this stage, so hold on to them. They're what will move you through the maze. You'll also each get a custom wristwatch to help you navigate the maze. The watch will light up with the room you need to enter next. They're really cool. I'm super happy with how they came out. At this point, I noticed the various Fulfillment Foundation's employees started to walk around, handing out rings and wristwatches. What I can tell you about the maze is pretty simple. You'll start in a room, then you'll face the room's trial. Ooh, interesting. Is it like an escape room? These trials will come in many forms, but importantly, you will always succeed. What? You'll always either succeed or fail a trial. Don't let those words fool you, though. While yes, it's generally better to succeed than to fail, that's not always the case. When it is better to fail... What? When is it better to fail a trial than succeed? Well, I guess that's up to you to figure out. Am I gonna have to figure that out? I was already getting a headache. Some groundskeeping rules. Obviously, no forms of violence will be tolerated in Purgatorio, or any leg of the Desire hierarchy for that matter. The Purgatorio trials will be hosted by our lovely dealer Beatrice, who will chime in on the speakers. Please be sure to always follow her instructions. If it is proven that you have cheated in any of these trials, you will instantly be eliminated. Eliminated, like pulled out of the game, or eliminated as in killed? I don't know. Listen, I don't know what these rich people are doing. In other words, you can cheat so long as it's not proven. You'll be monitored by cameras, so don't try anything. In other words, be careful not to cheat visibly. Just play fair Go through the trials and keep going until you find an exit to the maze. Now, I bet you're all worried about losing, right? More than you know. It's pretty simple. For one, you will instantly be eliminated from the hierarchy if at any point you completely run out of rings. After all, if you're out of rings, you basically have no chance of success. Additionally, if at any point it is deemed impossible for you to escape the maze, you will be informed and eliminated. This can manifest in a number of ways, but to give a small hint, while speed is not required to escape Purgatorio, if you take too long, the chances you may be stranded in the maze will increase. Oh, so if I take too long, they're going to abandon me here forever? At this point, one of the employees had made their way to me. They put a rather bulky wristwatch with a big LCD screen on its front around my right wrist. They then handed me 5 golden rings. Rings again, huh? Now this, I was pretty sure was a coincidence. Is it? Still, there was a cruel irony to it. Escaping the maze once? Not that hard. Could be a fluke. So, when you escape the maze, you will be shown to a waiting room. Generously, a number of people have chosen to volunteer their mansions, so you'll be sequestered in luxury. Then, after some time, you'll be summoned back here and thrown into the maze again with a different group of participants. After that, we'll repeat the cycle again. That means only those who manage to defeat the maze 3 times will pass the qualifying stage of the Desire hierarchy. I let out an internal groan. Great. Just great. Make my life harder, why don't you? Will you keep your same ring count between exiting the maze and re-entering it? So keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it. Everything else you'll have to figure out for yourself. Oh, but some words to the wise. Harry leaned in like he was confiding a secret in us. Luck or skill can bring you far in the maze. In fact, I'd wager that raw determination could get you through the maze once, or even twice. But though nothing will change, escaping the maze will be harder upon re-entry. I believe that only those who learn the true nature of Purgatorio will be able to successfully pass this stage. Keep that in mind as you proceed. So we have to get through it 3 different mazes. Is that what's happening? Alright, noted. There's something weird about the maze. Try and figure it out instead of going through trials blindly. Understood. That's all the rules, but I just want to speak as myself for a moment. You might not know it, but doing this, being here in front of you, it means a lot to me. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved watching in on the Desire hierarchy. I thought it was just the coolest thing, really. I was obsessed with it. So, to actually be here, finally hosting it, it's really a dream come true. I know, a lot of you might not be the happiest to see me. I bet you'd prefer if Abe was here, hosting this in my place. I get it. I do too. Honestly, I don't think I can fill his shoes. I don't think I can host the hierarchy like he could. But hopefully, you will all learn to appreciate my hierarchy. And those nervous, don't you all worry too much. This year won't be that different from years before. My father had made a lot of plans before his death, so this year's hierarchy is still mostly his design. I'm just here to make sure it runs smoothly. Abe Maslov's death was shocking and tragic, all too sudden. I can't help but wonder if maybe he killed his father. Was it actually, Was it actually suicide? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just glad that before he went, he got to see his son beat his own creation. That he got to see me.
Oh, wait, what?
That he got to see that I inherited his skills.
Inherited his wealth, more like. Andy made this snide remark under his breath, clearly unimpressed by Harry's emotional moment. Unfortunately for him, he was at the front of the crowd. And he was a bit louder than he had thought. Instantly, upon hearing this comment, Harry turned to stare down Andy. I took a subtle step away from him.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing, sir.
No, I think it was something.
It was nothing, Mr. Maslov.
I heard it. Don't backpedal now. You say I don't have any skills.
They're gonna kill Andy, aren't they? It was rare that I saw Andy look sheepish, but right now, he was completely powerless. He could barely meet Harry's eyes.
Okay. That's okay. You're not the first person to say that. You won't be the last. You're probably right. Say, I know. If I'm so unskilled, as you say, you won't mind getting a pass for the stage.
Huh?
Tremendously put.
Yeah, why not? On the count of 3, we're both going to throw out our hand with either 1, 2, or 3 fingers extended. If you throw out a different number of fingers than me, I will advance you through the qualifying stage right here, right now. But if we throw the same number of fingers, I will take that number of rings from you before the stage begins. Oh, but since I'm so unskilled, there's nothing to worry about, right? Sound good?
Nice.
Yeah. Let's do it. Andy really was incredible. A moment ago, he was absolutely mortified. Now he was already suppressing a grin, drooling for a free pass to stage 2. I had to applaud his ability to bounce back.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
The 2 men threw out their hands. Andy had 2 fingers outstretched. So did Harry. Suddenly, Andy was back to being crestfallen.
Oh, wow. What are the odds? I guess I just used my inheritance to win, right? Now come on, hand over 2 rings.
Before Andy could do that, however, one of the Fulfillment Foundation employees, a rather tall woman, walked over and whispered into Harry's ear.
Seriously? Come on, Madeline, it's not that tampering with anything. It was a fair bet.
This is...
I mean, he agreed to it. Ugh, fine. Okay, whatever. Because of official rules or something, I'm not allowed to just create random gambles with arbitrary stakes at last minute. Let's just get things started.
I heard Andy let out an audible sigh of relief. It seemed as though that entire affair had taken the wind out of Harry's sails. Not that I could blame him. I heard some more whispering and a bit of snickering. Seems like people were taking this as another of Harry's outbursts. But, I mean, he was talking about his recently deceased father who just committed suicide and Andy decided to make fun of him? Felt like a completely reasonable reaction to me. I guess Aurea celebrities just had different standards.
Everyone, see the various grids painted along the walls? Yeah, those aren't for show. Everyone, form lines behind the same colored painted line in front of the grid. To start off, you'll be throwing darts.
Huh? I wasn't sure what the hell Harry was talking about. But before I could really ask what he meant, people started forming lines, so I found a line and got in the back of it. Eager to figure out what was going on, I leaned to the side to try and get a look at what was happening at the front. Is this supposed to be whispering? Because it's awful. I'm sorry. This sound effect. Oh, thank God it stopped. It was just like it felt like it was tickling my ears. Oh, it was awful. I'm like shuddering. I didn't get a good look. Instead, I just had to wait till I got to the front. There, it seemed a Fulfillment Foundation employee had set up a station. Name? Colton Hall. The man scrolled the tablet he was holding, then pressed something. Then he handed me a dart with a suction cup at the end. Toss the dart at the grid. Do I get to know what this means? Guess not. Standing before me was a 5x5 grid of squares. I had absolutely no idea what to make of it. So I decided, screw it, I'd just throw the dart randomly. For no good reason, I aimed slightly to the left, hoping to hit the second column. I overcorrected and my dart hit the leftmost column, second row. Alright, is that good, or... Instead of answering me, the employee just grabbed my arm, specifically the arm with the bulky watch on it. They took out a scanner and aimed it at the watch. I heard a beeping sound. You're good to go. Okay. And just like that, I walked away. That was weird. A minute or two later, I heard a beeping come from my watch. I checked it, and all of a sudden, it was no longer blank. Instead, there was a blue skull displayed on it. That's not good. You know, for some reason I felt like the skull imagery might be a bad sign. At this point, Harry and the other employees had cleared the subway tracks. To gather everybody's attention, Harry banged his cane on the floor. Everyone turned to hear what he had to say. So, your starting positions have been determined. You are ready to adventure through the circles. It seemed as though some of the pep had re-entered his step. I suppose there's just one more question to be answered. Where is this labyrinth of mine? Then, Harry spread out his hands like he was displaying something. A moment later, a loud noise echoed through the room with an incredible apparent source. A few more seconds later, a subway train had pulled into the station. A big orange triangle was painted on the doors. Behold, the Purgatory Express. You see, the maze consists of the various trains on these tracks. They'll be running in a set of mixed loops, occasionally stopping at various stations to pick people up or let them off. After completing a trial, one way or another, you'll be dropped off at some waiting station. You are then to stay there until a train with a symbol that matches the one on your watch appears. A true maze, don't you think? Huh. I tried wrapping my head around what Harry was suggesting here. Logistically, this felt like something of a nightmare to organize. Like, to make sure all the trains can stay moving, that all the waiting stations would be passed by at a reasonable time. There aren't any conflicts. At the very least, it seemed fairly simple on my part. Get on the train that matches what's on my watch. Do a trial. Get off. Repeat. Okay, we've got a lot of heats to go through, and I'm going to be doing this whole song and dance so many times that I'll probably be sick of it before too long. Let's just get the stage started, shall we? All aboard orange triangles. And just like that, the desire hierarchy had officially begun. I'm going to wrap up this part here. I feel like this is a good place to end because this is the start of the qualifying round. So in the next part, we will do the trials and hopefully pass them, is what I hope. But I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I don't know how the puzzles will be. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. We were threatened by a ghost, and we have to save our parents. I'm hoping we can do so. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this game is going. It's getting, as time is going, it's getting much better. I'm getting more and more into the story, so I definitely do want to play more soon. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I will see you in the next part. Bye bye.